Hello everyone, Ailuromage the Magic History Cat here. In the last video, I went over ability names of the Final Fantasy XIV Astrologian and discussed the astrology terms used and what they mean. For this video, I'm going to focus on the cards and talking about the Zodiac itself and how the game handles the concept. To start off, let's go over the cards, the Arcanum as they're called in game. Despite updates and changes to the game over time, there have always been the 6 main cards: the Balance, the Arrow, the Spear, the Bowl, the Ewer, and the Spire. The ability Minor Arcana, in which Lord of Crowns and Lady of Crowns are used, was not added until Stormblood, so originally there were only these 6 cards. The effects of the cards are just damage buffs, with 3 granting more damage to melee and 3 granting more damage to ranged, but the cards used to be a lot different and much more interesting. Here's a little chart that goes over how the cards used to function all the way back in Heavensward. Each one used to be entirely unique, with 6 different primary effects and 3 possible secondary effects through the use of the removed ability Royal Road. So real-life tarot cards are separated into the Major Arcana, consisting of 22 cards, and the Minor Arcana, consisting of 56 cards, which are divided into 4 suits. In the Major Arcana, 12 are associated with the 12 signs of the Zodiac. 4 are related to the original elements that were believed to make up everything in the world by the ancient Greeks, and 6 cards are associated with the planets used in astrology charts. In the Minor Arcana, the 4 suits are categorized by the 4 elements and contain 14 cards in each suit. Additionally, each suit corresponds to 3 signs. Now, each sign has its own constellation, and they are displayed on the chart, showcasing the 12 houses. So the tarot is intimately tied with the planets, the signs, the constellations, and so on, as they are all connected, and the most powerful forms of reading will involve the use of both your birth chart and the tarot. Now let's look at Final Fantasy XIV, which has its own universe, connections, and everything else. We have the 6 previously mentioned cards in the Major Arcana, and for the Minor Arcana, some people have drawn parallels between the Lord and Lady of Crowns and the Emperor and Empress of the real-life Major Arcana, which sort of makes sense considering the Emperor symbolizes authority and power, and the Lord of Crowns deals damage, while the Empress symbolizes abundance and stability, and the Lady of Crowns heals. However, the Emperor is associated with the sign Aries, and the Empress is associated with the planet Venus, and the Emperor and Empress are also not in the Minor Arcana. So it's not a perfect match, but I can see how the connection was made. But let's get back to the main 6 cards. All 6 are associated with their respective in-universe constellations. Here they are side by side. These constellations depict the 12, and although we didn't meet them until recently in Endwalker, the 12 have been written in since the beginning, and you choose one of them as your patron in character creation. These are basically in-universe zodiac signs, and every character has one from creation. The same way everyone in real life is born of the 12 signs, so too is your character born under the sign of one of the 12. These symbols appear in various places throughout the game. Additionally, the 12 are associated with their respective heaven. There are 7 heavens in total in game, but 6 of them are divided among them and are comprised of their own element. You can kind of see the elements expressed through the symbol of each of the 6 cards. It's those symbols you probably see way more than the cards themselves on your hotbar while playing the class. Let's talk about the 12 a little bit, because it all connects to something really interesting. Naldbal and Azima are associated with the heaven of fire, represented by the Balance, a sun-looking symbol. Azima is the one depicted on the Balance card, and she uses tons of fire in her battle. Then you meet Naldbal in the City of Gold, built by him with golden bricks forged from Azima's flames. Additionally, his opening attack, As Above, So Below, relates to the real-life microcosm-macrocosm analogy I mentioned in the last video when talking about Astrologian's macrocosm macrocosmos and microcosmos ability. As above, so below is an ancient quote related to the concept that what affects the cosmos above will affect everything below. Nald Thal governs this phenomena in universe, holding the scales of balance. Oshan and Limlane are associated with the heaven of wind, represented by the arrow. Oshan is depicted on the card, a master of the bow whom you fight on the highest mountaintops that he resides over. Limlane is the navigator, guided by winds ruling over an endless sea. One of her attacks is called Wind Rose, and a wind rose is literally a tool to track the wind. Halone and Menfina are associated with the heaven of ice, represented by the spear, a snowflake-looking symbol. Obviously, the spear is literally Halone's spear, which she used to carve the palace of ice that you battle in, created by the ice formed by Menfina's moonbeams. In battle with Menfina, she uses moonbeams and a series of ice attacks, even turning the floor of the arena into ice for one of her mechanics. Nafaka and Althik are associated with the bull, the tree symbol, which is a reflection of the card depicting the world tree. Nafaka planted the original sapling, and Althik used his time-altering powers to assist its growth. The world tree is a symbol of life and eternity, a perfect representation of Nafaka's connection with nature and Althik's control of time. Nemea and Thaliak are associated with the heaven of water, represented by the ewer. Thaliak is depicted on the card, and that huge statue in Old Charleon is Thaliak with the ewer pouring the essence of knowledge that was created by Nemea melting a star. Additionally, when you fight Thaliak, you are fighting him on the river of knowledge that he made. Lastly, Bayergot and Ralgar are associated with the heaven of lightning, represented by the spire, a symbol of striking bolts. What's depicted on the card is the clockwork spire built by Bayergot and powered by Ralgar's Levin bolts. Both he and Ralgar attack with plenty of lightning during their fights. The 12 relate to the real-life Zodiac. Even if you don't know much about their lore, just watch the way they move and battle, the way they present themselves in attire and appearance, the things they say, and the way they speak.
Raging flames dance upon the wind.
Azima is a Leo, ruled by the sun, confident and loves the spotlight.
We, the traders, shall weigh your souls! The moment of judgment is come!
Nalthal is a Libra, literally the holder of the scales of balance and the arbiter of justice in the universe.
Wind, guide my arrow!
Oshan is a Sagittarius, a wanderer and explorer driven by curiosity, symbolized by a bow.
Can you contend with she who rules the tides?
Limlane is an Aquarius, free-spirited, moving and strong like the ocean.
There is no retreat, only victory or defeat.
Halone is an Aries, courageous, fierce, and revels in battle.
You're always in my heart, my loves.
Menfina is a Cancer, ruled by the moon, nurturing and passionate. Additionally, another connection is that Menfina and Azima are sisters in game, the moon and sun together.
Mine is the breath of the earth.
Nafaka is a Virgo, usually depicted as a young maiden, humble and practical, frequently tied with nature.
Time marches to my wind.
Althik is a Capricorn, a goal-oriented and hard-working leader who literally controls time itself.
I will spin your fates.
Nemea is a Pisces, close ties to the water, empathetic, altruistic, and seem to have psychic-like abilities as Nemea herself weaves fate.
Seek new perspectives, and you shall find new paths.
Thaliak is a Gemini, curious, clever, and in endless pursuit of knowledge as the scholar.
Behold the virtuosity of the builder!
Bayergot is a Taurus, grounded, stable, and hardy as a smith and the builder of the Great Clock Tower.
By my authority as the Destroyer, I will break you body and soul.
Ralgar is a Scorpio, intense, emotionally grounded, and powerful. They all tie well with the real Zodiac, even though they have their own established and fleshed out lore in their own universe. And of course, at the end, when you face the 12 in their ultimate form, you fight them in the 7th heaven, the heaven above all, as you're surrounded by rings adorned with their symbols orbiting the platform as if it were a giant star globe. It's just so so cool how connected to the divine aspect of the Final Fantasy XIV universe the Astrologian is, an amazing reflection of real-world astrology and how deeply connected it is with a greater universe. Additionally, there are two abilities I did not mention in the previous video because I wanted to save them for this reason. They share a connection to all of this. The first one is Divination. The effect is just a damage buff, but what's cool about it is the animation itself. It's an in-universe chart of the 12, just like we have in real life with the 12 Zodiac signs that appear in a circle around you. Similarly with Horoscope, which its effect in game is a setup to trigger big heals all at once later, the animation depicts a full chart in front of the Astrologian as they read the chart and predict the future, coinciding with its effect of healing happening later. What a clever ability, and honestly it all fits so well. So overall, the Astrologian, its abilities, the cards, connects with all aspects of real-life astrology in the forms of the charts, the elements, the constellations, the signs. It's all so well woven, and even though they share so many connections, it is so well established within its own universe that it feels like its own thing. It's just a shame I don't really enjoy the gameplay loop of the class mechanically as much as I used to, but finally seeing the 12 and seeing all of this tie and connect together is probably one of the coolest things that this game has ever done. That was my part 2 on the Astrologian. I didn't really know how this video would turn out as I started working on it, so I really hope it was interesting or helpful in some way. If you like this video, consider leaving a like and tell me what you thought, and subscribe if you wish to see more like it. Thank you so much, and remember to pet a cat today.